What's up, YouTube? I just purchased probably one of the best deals I've ever got on anything. Probably the best deal. Um, this here is 1989 Yamaha V-Star 250. I'm pretty sure. Bought it from my neighbor actually for a whopping $25. This thing is actually not in too bad a shape. Uh, and I'm pretty sure all it needs to run is a new intake boot because it's leaking, and probably some carburetor work, and a new air filter, and etc., etc. Little things like that, and it should run. It cranks and everything. I haven't checked for spark yet, but this thing is pretty darn sweet. I can't believe I got it for $25. Actually, I got it in a package deal. This and a trailer, well, not a great trailer, but a trailer for 50 bucks for the two of them. 25 for this, 25 for the trailer. But anyway, he's down here. It cranks. I mean, cranking, it sounds alright, so anyway, I guess I better get to work on this thing and make it run.
Hey guys, so as you can see, the motorcycle is not in one piece anymore. I meant to film all of this process, but turns out I forgot to hit record, so here we are. Anyway, I have the carburetor off, the gas tank, I have a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, I checked for spark. It has spark. It sounds like it's got compression crank in it. Sounds pretty good cranking, and I had a battery that fit in here, so I just put that in there, but it's a little bit low, so I have a jump pack hooked up to it. But anyway, I think all I'm going to need to do is get a good carburetor put in there, and it should be good to go. The carburetor that I pulled up, where is that carburetor?
Alright, here's the carburetor that I pulled out of this thing. It wasn't too bad a carburetor. I opened it up, and I saw the throttle slide was completely stuck, and I opened it up and there was a bunch of junk in the bowl and stuff. But it turns out it wasn't too bad. I ended up ordering another carburetor, a used one, and a rebuild kit, but I'm thinking I'm not gonna need those, so I might just send them back or just keep them for parts. But probably use whichever carburetor ends up being nicer, but this one seems fine. But anyway, I just pulled apart and cleaned out all the gunk, and it seems fine. I don't know where the bowl went, but I'll go find it, and I'll put this thing back together. And I also figured out that the bike will run, hopefully, with a new carburetor. I dumped a little bit of gasoline down in the intakes. Not much, just a little bit. And I cranked her over, and she fired. So, that's good. Hopefully all it needs is carburetor clean and that new intake boot. I don't know if I mentioned that. Where'd it go? Who knows? My shop's a mess. I need to clean it up. The little rubber intake boot was dry rotted and cracked, so that needs to be replaced. But I have that coming in the mail. And then carburetor, and we should be good to go. Hopefully it'll run. But anyway, I guess I'll see you when those parts get here.
Hey guys. It is, what, 2 days later? Something like that. Anyway, the intake boot came in. So, yippee! I might have this thing running today. But all I should need to do is slap this in there. Put everything back together. And then, I'll put oil in it. Which I'm gonna have to figure out what the heck I'm doing with that, because I ran out of 15W40. I don't have any motorcycle oil, like wet clutch oil, so I'll have to figure that out. But once I get that figured out, I'll be able to take this thing for a test ride, hopefully. So, anyway, I guess let's start working on that stuff. I'm just gonna try to scrape a little bit of this junk out of the carburetor bowl and put the carburetor back together and put the carburetor in the bike, and then find some oil, and then yeah, take it for a test ride. Hopefully I don't have an air filter, but it shouldn't be that bad for it to run without. Heck, I might even just take a rag, wrap it around here and hose clamp it on for now or something like that. I don't know if I mentioned this, guys, but I think this thing's been sitting for probably around 10 years. The tag on the license plate says 2013, so it's been a while. But seems like it should run. I got it to fire on some gas dumped down into the cylinders, so, or in the intakes, so I bet it'll run. You guys may or may not know this already, probably do, but WD-40 is a good way to recondition O-rings and rubber seals. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this down there in the spot where the what do you call it, float valve is. Hopefully make sure that seals good. WD-40 will actually soak into the rubber and make it swell up. It's a great way to recondition old O-rings and stuff. I just got to put the bowl back on it, and I think the carburetor will be good to go. Here. Probably should have done that before I stuck it in the stuck it in the bowl, but anyway. There's the bowl. Here's the carb. I can just place it on there, like so. Get some screws. There's one screw. Screw number 2, screw number 3, and screw number 4. Now, when I pulled this out, it ended up being a lot easier to pull out the, what do you call it, boot and the carburetor all in one piece than to do it individually. So I'm going to put these together first once I figure out which orientation it should be. I think it goes in this way, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. About like that. Also, did I mention, I don't know if I mentioned this, it's got 2 electrical connections, one here and then another one over here that broke. And it turns out those are carburetor heaters, so in cold weather your carburetor won't ice up. It's awesome. But anyway, I probably won't hook those up just because one of them's broken. I'll probably fix that eventually, or actually, you know what, I might just put the other carburetor in that I ordered, or take the heater plug thing out of it. Oh, you know what I need to do first is hook up the throttle. Put this on, if I can remember which way it goes. I think it's like this. Okay guys, so I finally figured out how this goes back together. I was just routing the cables wrong. But anyway, the throttle disc, doohickey, whatever the heck you would call that, is on there. But this cable, the cable that's supposed to pull it down to idle, which there's a spring in there, I guess it's just, you know, precautionary. But anyway, it's not getting sucked back up into the cable, so I might have gotten something screwed up inside of here. I guess I can just take the bottom of this off real quick. Here, can you see what I'm doing? No, you can't. Yeah, now you can kind of see. I guess I can just take this off. What I'm saying is I think it's something got off track up in here or something, because it was making some weird grinding noises when I didn't have it hooked up. So, alright, what's going on? Oh, yep, that's all it was. That cable just
became disconnected. It's all screwed up. This thing's got just about the weirdest throttle mechanism I've ever seen. Okay, now we're good. Just gotta adjust this. So you can see it's got these two nuts on the throttle cable end thing. So you can adjust how much they pull. You can see this one's slack when I'm letting off the throttle, so I need to tighten that. Well, something's wrong because I don't want to return. Shoot, I think I might have tightened it too much. Well, what do you know? WD-40 fixed it, like always. When in doubt, use an entire can of WD-40 on everything. Shoot, once I get this hooked up, all this in here, it should be writable. Heck yeah. Ooh, you know what? There's one thing I forgot to do. Choke plunger. That's important. WD-40. And on this, to freshen up this rubber seal, hopefully, on the thread. Pretty much just WD-40 on everything. Of course, the one size I need is missing. Oh, never mind. Here it is. Oh, you can't even see what the heck I'm doing, can you? Dang it. There we go. Couldn't see what I was doing that whole time. Anyway, carburetor is in there. Thank goodness. Now where are all my pieces of fuel line? Now we bolt on the carburetor. If I can remember. Oh, that bolt, or not carburetor, fuel pump. If I can figure out how it's supposed to be on here, that is. Yeah, it bolts onto the gas tank. Alright. And I guess I might as well pull this apart just to make sure it's clean in there. There's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for you, dear. Oh, that ain't too bad. Looks like there's a little bit of gunk in there. This side looks even better. Can you see that? Yeah. Diaphragm's still flexible. Heck yeah. Alright. I'm just going to put this back together and call it good enough. I just got to remember how the heck this came apart. Now this goes on something like that. You know what? I've got a spare fuel filter. I might as well put a new one in here. Or it's at least newish. Oh, I'll go get that. Alright, here's a fuel filter. Like I said, it's not new, but it's better than the one that was in here. So if I can get this off somehow, that'd be great. There we go. Here's a little bit of fuel line too. Alrighty, we should have all this stuff hooked up how it should be. So now, actually, I can see if it'll start. You just gotta get some gas. Well, guys, it is the next day. As you can see, I have it all put together. And it runs really good until you get to, I don't know, somewhere around half throttle, and then it just starts cutting out really bad. I think something's up with the carburetor still, or maybe it just needs new spark plugs. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it starts up. Here. The idle might be a little low, but yeah, it idles good. It runs pretty good, and it rides down the road pretty good too. I took it for a little bit of a test ride. It's kind of weird because it only seems like it only really cuts out when you're going down the road, and you can hold it wide open for a second before it starts, you know, acting goofy. And then see in neutral, I can, oh well, just killed it, but you get the idea. It's not the lack of air filter, I'm pretty sure, because I had a rag tied over there just to make sure it wasn't running too lean or anything. So it needs, you know, needs some fine tuning, needs everything else, all the other miscellaneous parts like the airbox, that little chrome pod put back on there. Needs the rear brakes fixed because every time you hit the pedal they'll lock up on you. But I think that all is going to be in a part 2. Fox is going to be coming out here in what, about a week from now, and I think we're going to do some work on this then. Anyway, stay tuned for that, I suppose, and I guess, yeah, just look out for a part 2. But it runs. Success. We made the $25 motorcycle run. Heck yeah. Well, anyway, I'll see you next time.